one of my childhood dreams was always to race a modified, and especially growing up here at Bowman Gray Stadium, that was kind of it. And that was top of the food chain, was racing the modified. So 2002 got an opportunity with Brent Elliott. Brent had been one of my heroes growing up, and got a chance to drive for Brent and race with him some. That was a lot of fun. And about that same time, we got into this indoor go-kart racing thing, and it was just a league. Lance and Norick owned it, and it was Victory Lane Karting in Charlotte. And man, had some legends working down there. A couple guys from Joe Gibbs Racing, Jody Felice worked down there. Man, there were some really good folks. A lot of instrumental people there, and a lot of folks that were still very active in the sport. But we used to run these league nights, and there was a group used to come up from South Carolina, and it was Jeremy Clements and Anthony Sanders. A lot of you guys know him as Big A. My buddy Bob Thornton from Salisbury, very accomplished road racer. And Ryan Young, world's greatest helmet painter. And I don't say that sarcastically. He is the world's greatest helmet painter. We lost Ryan this year, just a few months ago. Man, it's been tough. Ryan and I were only separated by about a month in age, traveled together, became really good friends. Our kids are the same age. Lots of battle stories together, but great guy. But we had a lot of fun together, a lot of fun. And we one year went to PRI, and it was always a contest to see who could mess with each other the worst. Well, it happened to be when PRI was in Orlando, Florida, and we had parked our trailers out at Billy Martino's place at Lakeland Speedway before it became a distribution center. And Billy was a great guy. He's like, yeah, you guys can park out here. At the time, we had the two-way radio contract for a fast car, and we'd worked with Billy intimately. He's a great guy. So we had kept our stuff out there. And anyway, we were sharing a condo with Ryan and Jody and two young kids that were working for Ryan. He had four, and it was myself, and I believe it was Mark, who we call Hee Haw, David Sell, and I don't know who our other one. Oh, I think it was Nick Weil, or Nick Wheel from Orlando. He was actually a local guy. We'd actually rented his father-in-law's condo. So anyway, show's going on, and the deal was Ryan would pay for the meal one night, and then we'd pay for the meal, and it just worked out a pretty good balance. So it was Ryan's night to buy. I don't know, it's probably 3:30, and Jody comes over, and they were slow. We were still fairly steady, but they were pretty slow, and she's like, well, she made some comment about, well, at least Ryan didn't sell my helmet. And Kyle Kitzman at Bell had put me together with Donnie up at Bell in Rantoul, Illinois, when they were still made here in America. And they had built me this custom shell helmet. It was bad to the bone. I mean, it was bad to the bone. Man, the inside was made for me, the whole deal, and Ryan had painted it up. And he says, man, I'll paint it for you, but I get to show it at PRI. And I was like, man, no problem, just don't sell it, because this is kind of a one-on-one. He's like, man, I'm not going to sell your helmet. I was like, all right. So Jody's over there razzing me about my helmet getting sold. So, man, I'm hot. I am mad. And that was their goal, So at the end of the show, they let me off the hook. They were like, yeah, we didn't sell your helmet. I was like, oh, okay, all right, no problem. Well, I'm pretty good at pranks myself. So we're all supposed to eat at this little steakhouse. I think it's exit 66. It's the road going straight up to Disney. So our condo was there, called the Black Angus. Pretty nice place. So we get there a little bit early, and it's me and David Sell, and I think Hee Haw was already with us. And we get to the steakhouse, and our waitress comes over, can I help you guys? Well, we're waiting on, 4 more. And I think maybe 5 with Nick. And I said, here is $50. I'd like for you to ruin their meal. So there's going to be a guy that sits down with a goatee, and there's going to be a girl with poofy hair. Just ruin their meal. And she looks at me and she goes, what do you mean ruin their meal? I says, well, if they order sweet, bring them unsweet. If they ask for diet, you bring them regular. If they order regular, you bring them diet. If they order blue cheese, you bring them ranch. If they order ranch, bring them blue cheese. Just mess it up. If they order their steak well done, bring it out raw. If they order it rare, burn it up, man. Just bring them the nastiest, the worst meal you could possibly do. Here's $50. I'm paying the bill. So she goes and she gets the manager. The manager comes out and says, sir, you want us to ruin a meal? Yeah, absolutely. So he said, yeah, we can do that. So I pay her $50. Sure enough, Ryan, Jody, his cronies come in, sit down, and Ryan sits kind of between me and David. And David had also requested a little cup of clean dishwater. And I didn't really follow on that, but anyway, David had an idea. So Ryan and I are sitting there talking about the show, this, that, and the other. Well, every time Ryan turns to look at me, David takes his straw, gets a little bit of that dishwater, drops it in Ryan's drink. Ryan's like, man, does it taste like, golly, like maybe the dishes didn't get rinsed or something? And I'm like, man, I don't know. My stuff's fine. So anyway, so they refill his glass 3 or 4 times and obviously completely get it wrong. Jody's is wrong, the whole deal. So we go through the whole meal. Of course, their dressings are wrong. Their steaks are cooked wrong. I mean, the waitress really knocked it out of the park on this. Well, Ryan catches on. He's like, man, oh, okay, all right. He's like, Jody, don't you need to go to the bathroom? Your stomach bothering you? No, I'm fine. And you guys, if you don't know Jody, you got to know Jody. She's not a blonde, but sometimes she can be. Probably one of the best go-kart racers that ever lived. Great, great girl. Been a good friend for 40 plus years, but sometimes she's a little dingy. So she's like, no. He's like, no. Didn't your stomach really hurt? Oh, yeah. So they get up and they go to the bathroom. Well, they dine and dash. Ryan thinks it's his night to buy. It's not. It's my night to buy. I already got it. So at the time, I believe Nick's cousin or somebody was a deputy in the county. So of course, we dispatched the law for the dine and dash, the whole deal, and it was a whole brouhaha. But anyway, scared him to death pretty bad. So they returned the favor, of course. They took spoons and buried it in Mark's ice cream. So when Mark would go to get a scoop of ice cream, there'd be a spoon buried in there. Then his kids ate all of our cereal. So we went to the store and got powdered Dulcolax, bought more cereal and put it on there. So they spent the next day in the bathroom. But the icing on the cake was move-out day. We go to get our trailer, and I was like, man, I'm going to mess with him again. So we stole this trailer. We actually moved it to a bank really close to the convention center, right there where cameras and everything were at. And it was right there on the corner across from the convention center. So he goes out to get his trailer, calls me up. He goes, hey, man, have you seen my trailer? And I was like, yeah, man, it was there at Lakeland when I went and got mine. It's gone, man. I said, was the gate closed? Yeah, the gate's closed, locks on, padlock, everything. But my trailer's missing. I'm like, no. He's like, yeah. I'm like, no way. Yeah. So, of course, we'd stolen. We get loaded up, the whole deal. So all my guys were like, man, when are you going to tell him? I said, once we get about an hour out of town, I'll call him back and tell him. So he's fixing to file a police report, and I call him and tell him, So it's probably 3-4 hours later. It's about a 10-hour drive home from Orlando. He calls me. He goes, hey, man, we got to call a truce. And I said, what? He goes, man, the pranks were fun and everything. He goes, but this stealing the trailer thing was over the top. So, man, we got to quit. So we made a truce right there, man. No more pranks on each other. We still had some pretty good jokes, but no more pranks, man. But really, really, really miss Ryan. Got a bunch of his cool stuff here. Got a lot of cool painted helmets. He did Kennedy a little pedal car when she was a baby, and a lot of special memories there, man. Really, really, really good guy.